The story begins with a time machine that gives people the ability to travel into the past. A man steps inside the machine, and the moment it activates, he is sent 45 years back in time. He has been sent for a very specific mission, but when he arrives, he has no clothes on his body. His first task is simply to find something to wear. As he searches for clothes, he runs into a group of thugs. Seeing him standing there with nothing on, they begin laughing and making fun of him. He calmly asks them for their clothes, but they only laugh harder. Even though he has an enormous physique, they are not afraid because they are carrying guns. Just before the man from the future reveals what he is truly capable of, someone calls out from behind him. He turns around and sees another man who looks exactly like him. The stranger says, "I was waiting for you," and immediately opens fire. The two launch into a brutal fight, revealing that they are not ordinary men at all. They are advanced robots from the future, known as Terminators. The older Terminator struggles against his opponent because the newer model is far more advanced and much stronger. One devastating punch temporarily shuts down his systems. Before the new Terminator can completely dismantle him, someone shoots it directly in the chest, destroying its power source and finishing it off. This is how Terminators from the future are eliminated. The story then shifts to a terrifying future where Terminators have taken control of the entire planet. The machines see humanity as a threat. Most humans have already been killed, while the survivors have been captured and forced into slavery. Among the remaining humans is their fearless leader, John Connor. Over the years, he has built a powerful resistance army dedicated to fighting the machines. John knows there is only one way to end the war forever: destroy Skynet, the artificial intelligence that controls every Terminator. Without Skynet, the machines are nothing more than lifeless pieces of metal. At last, after 40 years of endless war, the decisive battle arrives. John Connor leads his soldiers deep into Skynet's central core. After an intense assault, they successfully destroy it, bringing the long conflict to an end. The Resistance celebrates what appears to be humanity's greatest victory. But the celebration does not last long. John discovers that before its destruction, Skynet activated a time machine and secretly sent a Terminator into the past. Its mission is simple but terrifying: kill Sarah Connor, John's mother, before John is ever born. If John never exists, then he can never lead the Resistance or destroy Skynet. John realizes that his own existence is now at risk. Since he cannot travel back himself, he chooses one of his most trusted soldiers, Kyle Reese. John rescued Kyle when he was only a child, and ever since then, Kyle has remained completely loyal to him without hesitation. Kyle accepts the mission. As they prepare the time machine, John gives him one final instruction. He explains that when Kyle meets Sarah Connor, she will not yet be the strong woman history remembers. She will be frightened, vulnerable, and completely unaware of the future that awaits her. She'll need you, John tells him. She just doesn't know it yet. Kyle steps inside the time machine, ready to risk everything to protect Sarah Connor and preserve the future of humanity. The moment the time machine begins to activate, everything suddenly goes wrong. A hidden Terminator attacks John Connor before anyone can react. The machine strikes without warning and asks, "What did you think? It would be that easy?" Chaos erupts around the facility as the soldiers fight back, but the time machine has already reached full power. Kyle tries to help, but it is too late. A bright flash fills the room, and in an instant, he is sent back through time. Kyle arrives in 1984 with nothing but his mission. While escaping after stealing a beggar's pants, he is spotted by a police officer who immediately chases him. Before the officer can stop him, Kyle manages to take his weapon and points it at him. "What year is it?" Kyle asks. The officer replies, "Today is May 12th, 1984. Then the officer calmly adds, "That's the day you came here." Kyle freezes. There is no way this man should know he is from the future. In the next second, the truth is revealed. The police officer is actually another Terminator that has been waiting for Kyle's arrival. It attacks without hesitation, forcing Kyle to fire several shots before escaping. This Terminator is unlike anything Kyle has ever seen. Its body is made of liquid metal. Every bullet wound repairs itself within moments, making it nearly impossible to destroy. Kyle runs through the city and hides inside a shopping mall, hoping to lose his pursuer. But the Terminator never stops hunting him. As Kyle searches for another way out, he accidentally crashes into two police officers. Believing he is nothing more than a thief, they quickly arrest him. Kyle desperately warns them, "Listen to me. If you don't, you'll all be killed." The officers laugh and ignore every word he says. Just as they begin taking him away, the liquid metal Terminator suddenly attacks. One officer is killed almost instantly. Kyle begs the surviving officer to unlock his handcuffs, but there is barely enough time to react. The Terminator closes in, ready to finish all of them. Then, out of nowhere, a truck slams into it at full speed, knocking it away. A young woman behind the wheel quickly shouts for Kyle to get inside. With no other choice, Kyle jumps into the truck, and they speed away. Although they escape, the Terminator secretly leaves a tiny piece of its liquid metal attached to the truck. allowing it to track them wherever they go. As Kyle catches his breath, he finally looks at the woman who saved his life. To his complete shock, she is Sarah Connor. Everything John Connor told him suddenly feels wrong. John had described his mother as a frightened young woman who knew nothing about the future. Instead, the woman sitting beside him is confident, fearless, and already prepared for a fight. Even more surprising, Sarah already knows exactly who Kyle is. She tells him that John sent him. Kyle cannot believe what he is hearing. The future he remembers no longer matches the reality standing right in front of him. Something has changed, and this mission is no longer the one John originally planned. Kyle is completely confused. Nothing is happening the way John Connor described it. Sarah explains that the timeline has changed. The 1984 John sent him to no longer exist the way it once did. As they continue driving, Kyle notices a damaged Terminator lying inside the vehicle. Before he can understand what is happening, he sees another Terminator standing nearby. Terrified, he immediately grabs a gun and prepares to destroy it. Before he can pull the trigger, the older Terminator knocks him unconscious. When Kyle wakes up, he's even more shocked. John Connor's mother, Sarah, is sitting calmly inside the vehicle, while the old Terminator is driving as if nothing is wrong. It feels less like escaping from a deadly enemy and more like an ordinary road trip. Kyle has never seen a Terminator that looks this old. It appears worn out, as if someone found it in a junkyard and repaired it. Sarah finally explains everything. When she was a little girl, this Terminator saved her life. She calls him Pops because he raised and protected her ever since. Unlike every other Terminator Kyle has ever known, Pops has only one mission: to protect Sarah Connor. Kyle refuses to trust him. He reminds Sarah that Terminators are machines built to kill humans. According to him, no matter how friendly one may seem, its programming could eventually force it to turn against them. Kyle points his weapon at Pops and demands to know who sent him back through time. Pops calmly replies that his memory files were erased long ago. Even he does not know who sent him. Whoever gave him this mission made sure no information remained that Skynet could use. While they are talking, Pops suddenly detects something dangerous. The tiny piece of liquid metal left behind by the T-1000 is still attached to their vehicle. Without wasting a second, Pops destroys it. Kyle realizes that every part of his mission has changed. Nothing matches the future he came from. Sarah tells him that their objective is no longer just surviving. Now they must stop Skynet before it is ever created. Before anyone can discuss the plan any further, the T-1000 attacks again. Its vehicle races toward them at full speed before the liquid metal Terminator launches itself straight at them. Kyle quickly opens fire, forcing it back for a moment, but the danger only grows worse. The T-1000 reaches the damaged Terminator they had left behind and revives it by placing a single drop of liquid metal onto its body. Within moments, the destroyed machine powers back on. Now they are facing two deadly enemies instead of one. The reactivated Terminator attacks immediately. Kyle fights back with everything he has, but the machine is incredibly powerful. It repeatedly strikes him with a heavy metal rod, nearly killing him. Kyle finally manages to electrocute it, hoping electricity will shut it down. It doesn't. Desperate, he reaches for his gun. Just before the Terminator crushes his skull, Kyle fires directly into its head, blasting its skull apart and giving everyone a chance to escape. Meanwhile, Sarah has already prepared another trap, expecting the Terminator to follow them. But when the moment finally arrives, something impossible happens. Instead of seeing one Kyle Reese, they suddenly see two. Kyle stares in disbelief. Standing before him is another Kyle Reese. For a moment, nothing makes sense. The timeline has changed so many times that even Kyle no longer understands what is happening. Before anyone can figure it out, the situation changes again. The story shifts to Genesis, a revolutionary computer operating system that is about to be launched across the world. A nurse explains that within the next 24 hours, Genesis will connect every electronic device to the internet. Phones, computers, cars, and countless other machines will all become part of one intelligent network. To everyone else, Genesis looks like the future of technology. But Sarah immediately realizes the horrifying truth. Genesis is actually Skynet. People believe this artificial intelligence will make life easier, but they have no idea what is really going to happen. The moment Genesis becomes active worldwide, it will identify humanity as its enemy. It will seize control of nuclear missiles across the globe and launch them at the same time. Within minutes, nearly 90% of Earth's population will be wiped out. The few survivors will spend the rest of their lives being hunted by machines. While Sarah, Kyle, and Pops are trying to understand the situation, the police arrive. They search their records but cannot find any information about Sarah Connor. It is as if she has never existed. Kyle's case is even stranger. The fingerprints they scan match a 12-year-old boy who is still living in 1984. As the officers try to make sense of everything, a man named Brian arrives. He smiles and says, "Don't you recognize me? You two saved my life 33 years ago." Brian realizes that Sarah and Kyle have come from the future, and he wants to help them. Before he can explain any further, the police remove him from the room. The moment everyone leaves, Sarah and Kyle free themselves from their handcuffs and prepare to escape. Just then, Kyle hears a familiar voice. The door slowly opens. Standing in front of him is John Connor. Kyle cannot believe his eyes. He rushes forward and embraces John, convinced that his leader somehow survived. John quickly knocks two officers unconscious and tells Sarah and Kyle to follow him, but Sarah suddenly becomes suspicious. She remembers that John could already have been replaced by a Terminator. Pointing her weapon at him, she demands proof. "Tell me something only the real John Connor would know." John calmly reveals personal memories that only the real John Connor could possibly know. For a brief moment, it seems Sarah's fears were wrong. At the same time, Pops arrives at the hospital and sees John leading Sarah and Kyle away. Kyle asks John the question that has been bothering him. "How did you get here?" John answers quietly, "Just like you. I'm from the future." Then another shocking truth comes out. Kyle finally learns that he is actually John Connor's father. Sarah admits she has known this all along, but kept it secret because the time was never right to tell him. Before anyone can even process the revelation, Pops suddenly raises his weapon and shoots John Connor. The bullet tears straight through John's body, and blood pours from the wound. For a brief moment, it looks as though he has been killed. Kyle cannot believe what just happened. He immediately tries to stop Pops, but Pops grabs him by the throat and throws him aside. Sarah quickly points her gun at Pops and orders him to let Kyle go. Then, something impossible happens. John slowly stands back up. The wound that should have killed him begins to heal. Only then do they realize the horrifying truth. John Connor has become a Terminator. Skynet did not kill him when it attacked during the time travel mission. Instead, it changed him at the cellular level, giving him the mind of John Connor and the powers of a machine. John calmly tells them that he no longer wants to destroy humanity. Instead, he wants humans and machines to become one. His real plan is to transform every human being on Earth into a Terminator. Before John can attack Sarah and Kyle, Pops charges at him. The two powerful machines collide, but John is far stronger than Pops. During the fight, they crash into an MRI room. As the powerful magnetic field activates, John's metal cells are pulled toward the machine. Seeing an opportunity, Kyle increases the strength of the magnetic field. John's body is held in place for a moment. Kyle desperately hopes the machine can somehow free John from Skynet's control. But it is already too late. John is no longer obeying humanity. He is completely under Skynet's control. Realizing they cannot save him, Pops takes Sarah and Kyle to a hidden safe house. For more than 30 years, Pops has been preparing for this day. Inside the bunker are countless weapons, ammunition, and supplies collected over decades. Even so, Pops admits that he never expected Skynet to return with technology this advanced. He begins taking apart old speakers and uses their powerful magnets to build a special magnetic glove. The glove is designed to interfere with John's magnetic field and give them a chance during the next fight. While Pops works, Sarah notices that he has carefully preserved everything from her childhood. The memories overwhelm her with emotion. Pops may be a machine, but he protected and raised her for most of her life. Time has also taken its toll on him. As he loads ammunition, his aging motors begin to shake. For a moment, his mechanical hands stop working. He simply strikes his arm with a powerful hit, and the system starts working again like an old machine being repaired. Finally, Pops spreads out a map of the Genesis building. He explains that their only chance is to destroy the entire facility before Genesis becomes active. If the building falls, Skynet will fall with it. While they continue making their plans, John Connor finds their location. There is no more time to prepare. The final battle is coming. John Connor arrives at the hideout, determined to stop them before they can destroy Genesis. Kyle makes one final attempt to reach the man he once followed. He begs John to fight Skynet's control and come back. But the John standing before them is no longer the leader of the human resistance. He has become something entirely different. Without hesitation, Sarah fires a bazooka at him. The explosion tears through the area, giving the three of them a chance to escape. They jump onto a school bus and race away, believing they have finally created some distance, but John is still alive. He catches up to them almost immediately and refuses to let them reach the Genesis building. During the chase, he grabs Pops and rips him away from the bus. Even after being thrown aside, Pops refuses to give up. He steals a police car and continues chasing the bus, determined to protect Sarah no matter what. John then tears apart the metal tire spinning rod, causing the bus to lose control. The vehicle flips over and slides toward the edge of a river. It is only seconds away from falling into the water. At the last possible moment, Pops grabs hold of the bus and keeps it from plunging into the river. Kyle regains consciousness inside the overturned bus and tries to find a way out. As he climbs upward, John follows him. Just before John reaches him, Sarah, Kyle, and Pops work together to escape. Pops releases the bus, sending it crashing into the river with John still inside. Believing they have bought themselves some time, the three continue on foot. Before they can get far, the police surround them once again and place them under arrest. They are taken back to the police station for questioning. At the same time, David brings the young Kyle Reese and his family to meet the adult Kyle from the future. Inside the station, an officer repeatedly questions Pops. Pops remains completely silent. He does not answer a single question. Moments later, Pops suddenly stares at one of the officers. Before anyone understands why, John appears and opens fire. Gunshots echo throughout the station as officers fall one after another. Hearing the shooting, David rushes to Sarah and helps her escape. As Sarah runs through the station, she notices the young Kyle Reese nearby. She refuses to leave him behind. She takes his hand and helps him escape as well. While doing so, she repeats the same words Kyle once heard before his father's death. She knows those words must stay in young Kyle's memory. One day, when he grows up and travels through time, those memories will guide him. Meanwhile, David leads everyone to the police weapons room. They gather as many weapons as possible before making their escape. Their next destination is the Genesis building, but John Connor is already preparing to stop them once again. Armed with everything they could carry, Sarah, Kyle, Pops, and David make their way to a helicopter. They know every second matters because the launch of Genesis is getting closer. Just as they prepare to leave, John Connor attacks once again. He opens fire with a relentless barrage of bullets, determined to stop them before they can reach the Genesis building. Kyle shields everyone as they escape, giving Sarah and the others enough time to get airborne. John refuses to let them get away. He boards another helicopter and begins chasing them through the sky. Realizing John will never stop pursuing them, Kyle positions their helicopter directly in front of John's. At the perfect moment, Sarah fires an arrow. It strikes John squarely in the chest. The impact throws him off balance and his helicopter begins spinning out of control. For a brief moment, it seems as though he is about to crash, but John pulls himself back under control before the helicopter hits the ground. Pops realizes there is only one way to stop him. Without thinking about his own safety, he leaps onto John's helicopter. The collision sends the aircraft crashing toward the ground. While John struggles with Pops, Sarah and Kyle continue flying toward the Genesis building. By the time they arrive, John is already waiting for them. Before he can attack Sarah and Kyle, Pops drives a heavy metal pole straight through John's chest. The strike gives Sarah and Kyle enough time to get inside. Pops knows every part of the building because he worked there as a construction laborer many years earlier. Following his plan, the three split up and begin planting explosives throughout the facility. As they move through the building, a hologram of Skynet appears before them. It looks at them with complete confidence and declares, "You mere mortals can't stop me." None of them respond. They continue placing explosives exactly where they need to be. One by one, every charge is armed. Everything is finally ready. All that remains is pressing the detonator. But before anyone can do it, John Connor appears again. He captures Sarah and demands the detonator. If they refuse, he will kill her. Sarah looks at Pops and tells him to ignore her. She orders him to press the button and destroy Genesis, even if it costs her life. Pops raises his trembling hand toward the detonator. His aging motors struggle once again. He cannot bring himself to sacrifice the daughter he spent decades protecting. At that moment, Kyle arrives. John knows Kyle will choose humanity over everything else. He releases Sarah and lunges toward the detonator. The final battle begins. John lunges toward the detonator, determined to stop the explosion before Genesis can be destroyed. Pops immediately pulls him away, and the two Terminators collide in a violent fight. John's ability to change his shape gives him a huge advantage. He attacks with incredible speed and power, smashing Pops again and again. During the battle, John shatters one of Pops' hands and delivers a devastating kick that sends him crashing across the room. As John moves in for the final blow, Pops activates the magnetic glove he built from the speakers. The powerful magnetic force disrupts John's body for a moment. Pops lands a crushing punch, followed by a series of heavy blows that leave John badly damaged. While the fight continues, Skynet speaks through its hologram. It declares that it considers itself no less than a god. Skynet boasts that it took humans millions of years to become human, while it became human in only a few seconds. It announces that in exactly 4 minutes, it will exist everywhere through Genesis. John, filled with rage after being struck by Pops, attacks with even greater force. He tears Pops' arm completely off, leaving him badly damaged. Even after losing an arm, Pops refuses to surrender. His only mission has always been to protect Sarah. As John prepares to destroy him once and for all, Sarah rushes in and opens fire. Without stopping, Pops uses his magnetic glove to hold John back for only a few moments. Knowing he cannot restrain him much longer, Pops throws Sarah and Kyle away from the fight and orders them to activate the time machine immediately. Sarah does not want to leave him behind. She knows Pops will die if they go. But there is no other way to stop John. Kyle races to the controls and starts the time machine. As soon as the machine detects the metal inside John and Pops, it begins reacting violently. John struggles to escape the powerful energy. Pops grabs hold of him and refuses to let go. The force of the machine tears both Terminators apart. Pops' head is ripped away from his body and falls out of the machine. John remains trapped inside. Seconds later, the overwhelming energy completely destroys him. The explosion triggers a massive chain reaction throughout the Genesis building. The entire structure collapses into a mountain of rubble. Sarah closes the bunker door just in time, protecting herself and Kyle from the devastating blast. When everything finally becomes quiet, Sarah is heartbroken. She believes Pop sacrificed himself to save humanity. She wishes she could travel back and save him, but she knows that is impossible. As the oxygen inside the bunker begins running out, they hear something approaching. A Terminator suddenly walks toward them. For a moment, both Sarah and Kyle prepare for another attack. Then Sarah recognizes the familiar figure. It is Pops. During the explosion, his damaged head had fallen into liquid metal, allowing him to upgrade into a more advanced form. Together, they have destroyed Genesis. But before the timeline can finally be restored, there is still one important task left to complete. With Genesis destroyed and John Connor finally defeated, Sarah, Kyle, and Pops know that their mission is not completely over. There is still one final step left to protect the future. The three of them travel to meet the young Kyle Reese. Sarah tells the boy that someone important wants to speak with him. Future Kyle kneels down and looks at his younger self. He knows the message he's about to give will shape everything that happens in the future. He tells the young Kyle to remember one thing above all else. Genesis is Skynet. Then he tells him to repeat those words every single day until he never forgets them. This message is the key to completing the timeline. Without these memories, the future Kyle would never experience the visions he had while traveling through time. Without those visions, he would never understand that Genesis is actually Skynet. And without that knowledge, he would never be able to stop the future from repeating itself. The timeline finally begins to come together. For the first time, Sarah, Kyle, and Pops believe they have truly changed the future. The three of them leave together and begin a peaceful new life, hoping the nightmare has finally come to an end. But the story is not over. Deep beneath a massive pile of rubble where the Genesis building once stood, something has survived. Hidden among the wreckage lies Skynet's core. It is still active. That means Skynet has not been completely destroyed. Its return is only a matter of time. And with that chilling revelation, the story comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed this movie. Thank you for watching.